According to the caption given to the image, it is likely accompanied by the white worms that were exclaimed to the window thing. This creature likely has a hobby of traumatizing its victims and driving them insane before killing them, as the person that is seeing this creature has paranoia. They describe hearing knocks on the doors and windows, and when they investigate, they see piles of rot and white worms. Rawhead Rex is an extremely tall pagan demigod. It is based on the short story of the same name included in Clive Barker's Books of Blood. Its appearance is adapted from the graphic novel adaptation. A tall white figure with a pinkish-tinted head, its overall physique made to resemble that of male genitalia. Its body is emaciated in juxtaposition to its swollen head, with beady eyes that pierce through the dark. This creature is made up of many meat tissues, and the spine and joints are clearly visible. The arms and body look slimy because there is a lot of blood and mucus mixture on them. There is a theory that the creature is man-made. We see from the title that the man always refers to the monster as baby, so he may be an artifact. He may have based it on an experiment, and then he ran away. As the name suggests, this baby is terrified of intense sunlight, which can burn his skin and possibly kill him completely. TV lamb depicts a fleshy figure coming out of TV. Its body is made of a kind of fleshy rope, similar to a vein, and the ropes appear to be entangled with each other. It was adopted by an apocalyptic cult and kept in captivity. The cult worshipped the creature thinking it was the Lamb of God because it performed miracles, most likely its psychic powers. Eventually, the complex was destroyed and the final fate of TV lamb remains unknown. Judging by the caption and the animation, it is likely a ghost or spirit that somehow died by being stuck in the ground, reenacting its demise in agony as a sort of residual haunting. This is why it is not always seen by people, as stated in the caption. Trevor says that it is just one of the spirits of a man who died at the motel it is at, who was a salesman. The old detective depicts a tall, slender humanoid creature, seen standing ominously under a deep red light in what appears to be a parking lot of a movie theater during early nighttime. The creature is standing with a strange pose, being firm but not stiff. The creature may be a shy creature that hides from people. The caption also states that he feels childish and paranoid, like a child watching an old detective movie, and is nervous if people are staring at him. The old detective is the physical embodiment of paranoia, meaning that it may be paranoid and childishly afraid itself, and is inflicting this feeling onto others by stalking them. These emotions could be extremely intense to the point of mentally destroying its victims, leading to self-harm or physical ailments, which could be how it kills. Schnabelperten is an Austrian creature that makes sure you keep your house clean, or else. They can be seen closer to Christmas, as they belong to those creatures who, during Christmas, determined who behaved well and who behaved badly. Perks come to the homes of families to either reward the people who were diligent and hardworking, or to punish if the people were lazy. The reward is silvers coins in shoes or buckets of hardworking people, and the punishment was to cut open the belly of a lazy person with the help of their huge scissors and stuff them with straw and stones. Their bag is needed to place dead people there. It is almost impossible to see one perked, as they gather in a large company in order to test the kids for their hard work. But Perch with a broom can help you clean up dust and debris. Mr. Trashbag depicts an unusually tall figure standing in a dark building. It has a very pale human-like head with a large nose, squinted eyes, light purple lips and eyelids, and a relaxed expression. Its face is the only truly visible part of its body, as the rest of the visible creature is covered in a black, moist trash bag or possibly a body bag. Mr. Bag is a malevolent creature that wraps itself around people, suffocating them and making them a part of him, which could be how he is getting taller each time we see him. He is also not aggressive to people who are friendly towards him and give him attention. The first victim of Mr. Bag had experienced a traumatic experience with a body trash bag as a child, possibly finding a dead body inside it due to curiosity. The assumption is that Mr. Bag was actually manifested into existence as an actual living creature by the intense imagination and trauma of his first victim when they were a child. The angel portrays a skeletal human-like form. The head resembles a human skull with all of its separate parts molded together into a singular, rounded shape with a crack down the middle of it, starting from the two of the head and ending at the nostrils. A theory posits that the angel is just that, an angel. In the Old Testament of the Bible, certain angels are described as strange creatures that can appear in many different shapes and sizes other than just winged humans. From large wheels with many eyes to unusual combinations of a human and many other animals, the angels are very different from one another. Another theory says that the angel is not of any angelic or religious origins at all, and the name was only given to it by people who have encountered it. This is likely why Trevor appears to add quotation marks whenever he says its name, as if quoting someone else. Instead, it is just another physical, or metaphysical, monster in the mythos that roams around the first universe. The Fetid king depicts a thin human skeleton with a large spinal column and 17 ribs in total, which is much less than an average human. It acts as some sort of computer virus. The first thing the Fetid king does when he accesses a device is to corrupt the device by making multiple versions of a picture, titled kingbirth.jpg. When the file is reverse image searched on Google, the victim is met with ominous stuff, like the image guesser suggesting that the image is, the Fetid king is coming soon. Eventually, he will kill his victim. It is unknown on whenever the Fetid king kills, either by exiting the device and kill the person, or use the device itself to somehow kill them. The fencer is a slasher, who originally was a student fencing champion who was killed by a rival team. He didn't die due to his hate keeping him alive. He now murders everyone he comes across, as he is confused and thinks everyone is a member of the team that killed him. He is frequently seen with a fencing sword. There's a slim chance that he will use as a weapon such as dagger, épée, rapier, and saber. Potentially infiltrate a competition by killing and impersonating a competitor, then escape capture after killing a competitor in front of a large audience. Is a skilled swordsman and has sportsmanlike conduct, but can't die. Hey, stop a minute. Not much information is known about this beast, but we can deduce from the caption that it wants someone or something to stop a minute. This communication suggests that it has human-like intelligence that allows it to speak this message in perfect English. The beast is hiding its lower half behind a small fence in a secluded forest, as if it doesn't want anyone else to see what it will do when the recipient actually stops. This suggests that it will do something violent with the person that it allured with its voice. Another possibility is that the creature doesn't actually have its own voice but is mimicking a voice or conversation that it heard in order to attract people's attention. These creatures look like people, but the heads of the second and third are misshapen. Screenshot taken from one of 9 transmissions that intercepted normal scheduling on Chicago's WGN-TV in the summer of 1987. Repeated exposure purportedly lead to symptoms of fatigue, dizziness, and in one case, internal bleeding in a 6-year-old child. There has been much discussion as to the source and nature of the broadcasts in the subsequent years, leading to a cult following of the show, and even self-proclaimed fans of the 3 characters shown in the broadcasts, later dubbed the 3 Jesters. Recordings of the broadcasts go for large sums online, and fans persist in watching the tapes to this day, despite the rumored harmful physical effects. The way the creature appears to hang upside down like a bat may indicate that it is used to this position and stays on it very often, as it does not seem to be discomforted or troubled by this position. The bat comparison also makes sense in the fact that the creature appears to be nocturnal, as we can see that it is indeed nighttime in the image. It is unknown how the creature is able to travel or Ein sustenance, but the location of it may imply that it travels between houses and stays on ceilings, attempting to catch people off guard and possibly eat them, though how it would kill is unknown, as it does not seem to possess anything to do so. The humanoid bird seems to be in what looks like an attic, and all we can assume is that it is semi-friendly, only attacking when provoked. When it's provoked, it will let out a loud trill, causing the person for its eyes to gouge out and for its ears to bleed, otherwise it will keep to itself. It is able to let out a loud trill. The Forgotten Baby is a grotesque, gangling humanoid creature, seen poking its head and a portion of its body through the doorway of a dimly lit blue bedroom. Despite the creature lacking any visible arms, it does have one of its legs peeking through the doorway as well. This leg is disturbingly thin to the point of being mostly bone covered in skin, and it is not structured like a human's. The creature likes to infiltrate houses during nighttime and wanders around the quarters until eventually making its way to a person living in the house. What happens from here is entirely unknown. It does not seem to show overt aggression in the image, although the blood on its legs and near the mouth give us the impression that devours the people that it comes across. Trevor stated in the caption of the post with it that the creature walks extremely silently and delicately. The most emphasized ability of this creature is its extreme stealth and quietness, which allows it to easily sneak through a person's house without them noticing until it is too late. This ability to sneak into people's homes unnoticed would also require it to have a considerable amount of intelligence. This intelligence is also exhibited in the fact that it has malicious intents, meaning that it has the intellect to grasp the concept that what it is doing is wrong, yet chooses to do so for unknown reasons. The creature's head appears to be really small, and its abdomen is really thin. According to the caption Trevor Henderson made when he posted this picture, the creature is too big, swaying violently, and its sides bellowing with each pained breath. It apparently ended up in our world, a place where it seems it shouldn't be, and that the laws of reality are possibly killing the creature. Very little is known about the true behavior and origins of this peculiar creature. Based on the caption given to the image, it is likely made up of the missing corpses from the empty graves that were found in Mount Pleasant Cemetery. It is still unknown how the creature actually managed to come to life, although there are two main theories regarding this. The main ability of this creature is its slender, flexible body and animal-like intelligence. These perks greatly benefit the creature by allowing it to be exceedingly stealthy and difficult to spot. This gives it a special advantage when it comes to hunting down prey, as well as escaping people trying to hunt it down. This would also lend it to be a very fast and agile mover, and even let it climb better than most humans. The moon worshippers are surprisingly harmless creatures, as they were supposedly too busy performing their worshipping rituals to attack or even notice humans. But a downside to this is that they show little regard to their environment, as they seem to try to get as high up as possible in order to do their worship. While the moon worshippers are mysterious creatures on their own, what is even more mysterious is what they are actually worshipping on the moon. From the caption, we can tell that what they were worshipping eventually came to Earth and is implied to be very dangerous or destructive. It is possible that they are worshipping the moon itself, but this is unlikely, since it does not provide anything for them, even metaphorically, which is what warrants worship in the first place. The moon itself also wouldn't be able to suddenly come down to Earth. Things had been strange since they moved in. Every carton of eggs they brought in ended up being rotten. He'd even cracked one with a chicken fetus still inside. Birds had been flying into the windows, and he'd been waking up with little wounds on his body, like chicken pecks. The Chickenghost is a completely white, tall, humanoid chicken. It has red eyes with small black pupils that intend it to look like a humanoid chicken fetus. It has chicken-like hands with 3 skeletal fingers and a thumb on each hand. In its patron saint drawing, it has a white pearl-like orb in its chest floating in place, suggesting that it actually represents an actual chicken egg. It was shown to have a set of thorns protruding from its back in one of the drawings. Bellringer depicts a human-like figure standing in a dimly lit room. Where it originated is unknown. The entirety of the creature appears to be a mere skeleton, held together by some sort of fully encompassing web-like material, possibly muscular tissue or mucus. Interestingly enough, due to the lack of skin, the creature's neck is actually composed of root-like bones, which protrude from the very top ribs. This, along with the spinal cord, helps support the head without requiring muscle mass. Its head appears to not be made of any organic material, and instead being replaced with a typical bright red electric school bell, the hammer of which appears to protrude out of its neck, able to be moved like a joint. It does not appear to have any other components of an electric bell, though, likely due to it being moved naturally. The country road creature is a sentient and violent predator with many efficient hunting tactics in hand. Its size would be able to easily overpower humans and other prey to eventually kill and devour them. It is a skilled and intelligent predatory monster. Its hunting tactics are effective, as one would be peacefully driving on an isolated road only to meet the creature, which could easily overpower them due to its insane speed, agility and ability to contort its joints and bend them. This makes it a nigh impossible to restrain force, as it would be capable of overpowering and murdering the strongest humans in a brief moment with ease. Followed you home appears to be a pale and slim creature with very long claws on its hands. It also seems to be able to bend its neck and arms in impossible positions. A person inside of a vehicle took the picture of the creature, which was looking at the person, standing on a road. Further on, more possible pictures of the creature started spreading, such as a photo of the creature climbing on a building, going to the other side. There is still an ongoing debate that Followed You Home could actually be the country road creature. Not much is known about this creature, but we can form the assumption that the caption, "Baby I'm your man," might imply that it is talking to its partner. Coupled with the word, "help," below it and its appearance, this creature may be a ghost or disfigured body of man asking his partner for help, and perhaps it is actually being dragged into the room to be killed, or it is reenacting its demise due to extreme agony. Due to this, we can assume that the creature is benevolent, and is actually the one that is in danger. Alternatively, it may actually be a malevolent spirit, who is using its partner's empathy and curiosity to lure it into a trap of some kind. This would explain the creature's unusual grin on its face. He has long black hair on his head and a huge wide smile on his face. Outwardly, it resembles a nervous houseguest or country road creature. The creature can be quiet. Despite its huge size, it moves quickly and crawls on the walls. Its height reaches from 8 to 12 meters. He is a bloodthirsty maniac who kills people and other monsters. He's very resilient and durable. Peeping Tom's has an incredibly long neck and an unnerving smile. This creature has no hair or ears from what we can see. His body is hidden, but as shown in the laundromat picture, it looks like the body is quite normal, except for the neck. I'm glad he's gone. He was a disgusting old Peeping Tom, and I hope what's left of his shitty house burns down. Cool Guy depicts a strange, thin creature that does not have a clear form. Most of the creature's body appears to be merely bones, varied with pale, fleshy skin. Starting with his torso, which is relatively human-like in appearance, has a very visible ribcage on account of its thin skin. The most interesting part of this creature is its large, bulbous head that is connected to its torso with a large mass of tissue. Given his extremely thin and bony arms, he would not be able to support the weight of his enormous worm-like head. This could mean that he has some sort of ability to defy gravity, or that his worm-like head is actually connected to a ceiling of some kind. Another possibility is that he can levitate, thus negating any weight issues. Someone was driving in a car when this creature started pointing in at the driver. She is a creature with pale skin, 2 eyes pointing different ways, a large mouth, and thin arms and legs. Laughing Lady reaches a height of 4 meters tall. If she laughs and points her finger at the car, then soon there will be an accident on the road. Previously, the Laughing Lady was an ordinary woman who was in an accident and burned, but did not die from it. She survived it and under unknown circumstances began to grow to a huge size. Long Lady is a ghost of a woman who had perished somewhere near the street which she haunts. Her unique and grotesque appearance is a byproduct of her condition, as Trevor Henderson is known for drawing ghosts in a much more disturbing and twisted appearance than when they were alive. While her origins are unknown, the post's captions imply that she has been around since at least the year 1987. The most noticeable perk of the creature is the very namesake of her, being her imposing height. This height would allow her to see people practically wherever they are, move very fast, as well as be able to easily pick people up to drop or possibly eat them. While all known images of her are shot in black and white, it is safe to assume that she has very pale skin due to it appearing at a much lighter shade of white than should be normal for a living human. The man with the upside-down face, as his name implies, depicts an adult human male with fair skin with his head turned completely upside down. He is almost always seen eerily smiling, with his eyes looking downwards. Or right at the camera. It is a particularly stealthy creature, on account of the fact that he is completely invisible to the naked eye and requires some sort of camera or other recording device in order to be seen. It is almost always seen near disastrous events, usually car crashes or other incidents involving some sort of vehicle. He has also been captured in other areas during events of great misery or distress. It is believed that the man is just as bad or possibly even worse than the infamous cartoon cat, appearing to be a most threatening evil being. He causes and feeds upon human pain, suffering, and death without any remorse. He leeches off the suffering of his victims. Due to his innately inhuman nature, he does not need to eat food, breathe, sleep, and cannot feel pain or remorse. Log 1. Private John was let's say a man kept to himself. He would usually pace back and forth along the trenches, muttering, "Will this end?" as if asking something. He would usually get on the bad side of Commander Crowley, to quote him. "Why the fuck are tearing up the maps in the office? Yeah, hope I get proper sleep tonight." Log 2. We got hit real bad last night. We were on the wrong side of a howitzer. We had enough gas masks, but I heard a familiar scream. Running towards the scream, I saw the thing that will scar my memory. John, he was turning green. He got hit by shrapnel really bad. Gotta take him to field hospital. Log 3. I heard orders going through my ear. Waking up, I saw John. Fuck it. Am I dreaming? I saw him, running with no fucking arms, biting every fucker in sight. I managed to escape with a bunch of officers and medics. I had to go under a psychological test. But I can't forget that thing. The cause of this intense feeling of paranoia is very likely the nervous houseguest itself. It also seems to be constantly watching and following the person wherever he goes, as the caption denotes that he always feels this way when they stop at any rest stop, and not just a particular one. This may also suggest that the creature is invisible to the naked eye, as something that large and strange would have certainly caught the eye of someone by now. In a way, it almost acts like a sort of disease that can infect people for a long time, constantly making them feel watched until it finds another victim. It could also be some sort of physical representation for paranoia. Everybody stopped going. People still see strange things in the area, the old basement tunnels underneath. They say whatever was responsible for all the missing is still there, still waiting. This gives us a lot of information and lore to discuss. First, this creature is hunting in an old theater called Starliner Cinema. And this thing would hunt for people to kill when the theater was closed or when people weren't looking. Usually, it only attacks the person who makes noise during the movie's plays. Also, it's not purely harmful according to its warning, always be alarmed to other people while watching the movie. It provides its own seat, even the cinema is full, which is the mysterious how can it has its own seat. Sometimes people disappeared and then found after the movie ends. If encountered, Shattered watches you carefully until you reach to your location. His body was shattered years ago, as he likes to play with electricity, making his body to shatter. He actually has scopophobia, the fear of being photographed or being stared at. So, to avoid being grabbed or eaten, don't stare at the creature, try your best to avoid eye contact. He can appear at any electric-related places. If there's a blackout at the time 2:50 a.m., don't go out and investigate, there is a high chance that Shattered is waiting for his next victim. He seems to be looking at a window, I don't know why. Picture an ocean. The bottom of the ocean. It's pitch black down there, and we're walking through it, blindly, arms outstretched. But we're not alone. There are many, many things down there with us. Hunting things. And mostly we go unnoticed. Every once in a while, one of us will make a wave. A disruption. In their ocean. We may not realize it's happened. But suddenly, they see. And they come pouring out of the walls you thought were so solid a second ago, and there's not a thing you can do. They see you now. Midnight skulk, or as some people call it, creeper. It's unknown how it got in, due to its size. It is white, with 2 thin legs and no arms, but a big body. It has a happy expression, so it could be non-hostile. It has no eyes, its neck is long. Not much is known about this monster. The rates are good, and I barely saw anyone else the whole time I stayed there, but I hardly slept all night. Somebody was thumping up and down the hallway all night long. I could see their shadow underneath my door. I think they were hopping. The creature resembles a dummy of some sorts, with a long gray dress with spikes for arms, long black hair, a wide open mouth, and scars on its face. In the caption, we see that it is hostile, as it attacks the people at the abandoned building who are exploring it. Trevor replies to someone that is relieved that it doesn't have eyes, and says, "Bold of you to presume they need those to see you." Which means it can sense people without looking. Homebody is implied that he can stretch out his limbs throughout the house through ventilation shafts, pipes or other entrances. It is also possible that his legs don't possess that quality. It appears to be a whitish skin, it appears to have a skeletal body, therefore he look like its head is towards, it's possibly up to 2.5 meter in height. Another thing, it has a hand nears a chair, therefore that it's going through a vent possibly. Skinless man's skin was found on a clothesline. He has white eyes and his intestines are falling out. It is unknown why it has no skin.
Nerpo, nerpo, ha 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 ha, nerpo, nerpo.